talk about this trade right here. How beautiful this trade is set up. If you've followed anything on the channel, two candle theory is one of the strategies that I use in order to get into the market. It's not a complicated strategy. You just look at the previous candle. If the previous candle's bullish, you're going to go bullish. If the previous candle's bearish, you're going to go bearish. You draw a particular area, which is about 50% of the body. You draw the open of that candle. That way you know when prices drop below it and can come up above it. And that's pretty much it. And so for me, for this particular strategy, I've been working on the weekly and the 4-hour. So I will come to the weekly and let's go take a look, because this was a trade that I marked up and was ready to get in, but never actually pulled the trigger. And I'm actually technically should be in the next trade, but I never actually pulled the trigger on that one either. Just been busy. And sometimes that's what life hands you. You don't have time to do it, which is okay. You got to be okay with missing some. So same thing, two candle. This is bullish. I'm expecting the next candle to be bullish. Is this a beautiful, beautiful, strong push afterwards? Yeah, absolutely. Not necessarily cherry picked, although I just saved it so I could actually show. But this happens all the time. If you go back through the charts, you would see that you can get into trades like these, and they set themselves up pretty regularly, and you can pretty much work it on your own. You can figure out what works for you and what doesn't. For me, I will do the 50% of the body, and then I'll drop down to the 4-hour, and I'll usually look for some sort of rejection. Now, rejection is subjective. Some people may look at this as an indecision. They're like, well, it's not strong enough in one direction or the other. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to take whatever trades present themselves based upon what I look at the market and go, I feel comfortable getting to that trade. And that's about where it comes down to. Are you comfortable getting into the trade? Are you comfortable risking whatever money to put into this trade in the possibility that it might lose? That's possible. So for our time for our weekly time frame here, dropping down to the 4-hour, you will see that on the weekly chart, this is the 50% of the body. This is the open of the body. 50% of the body, I would draw a box around just because it's an area. It's not necessarily a particular line. So I draw a box around. Now we get price come down here. To me, that's one rejection. To me, that's the second rejection. And to add a third confirmation for me is that's an engulfing candle. It engulfs the previous one. You can call it whatever you want. You really can name it whatever you want. Whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable about taking trades like this, it really doesn't matter what you call it. It really doesn't matter if it's the right terminology or not. The thing is, do you feel confident enough to continuously place a trade? Regardless if they're going to win or lose, just place the trade. So taking that trade right there, setting up, letting it go. And I mean, that would have been a nice 1 to 3. I wouldn't have taken to 1 to 3. My general process after I get into a trade is to see what the weekly range is. And so for like this candle, if you look up in the ATR and the top left-hand corner over there, it's 1549. So I would take my position tool, I would put it on the wick of that candle, just because that's what it is, 1549, and that's where I push it out to be. Actually, wow, okay. So that's the range of that candle. I probably go a little bit before then, just so I don't actually get caught before the turnaround point. Price gets up there but doesn't exactly push through my take profit. I would like to call a little bit early. So yeah, no, that's actually where it is. It actually goes all the way there. Look at that. So that would have been a beautiful trade, holding it all the way to probably 1 to 3. Like we can call it a 1 to 3, which even puts it way down here. Easily hit 1 to 3. So there's that. And I said earlier that I should be in this next trade. I'm not, but and it's already moved away from me, but we're doing the same thing. It's like, okay, I have a strong bullish candle. I have a 50% area that I'm looking at, drop down to the 4-hour time frame. In that 50% area, price came in there, rejected off again. That would be a nice trade. Get into that trade right there. Stop loss goes a little bit below it. Because if the whole idea is if it's going to go, it's going to go. It could come back and play a little bit. It could come back if you've been in the market, it could come back and make a higher low before taking off. And so you don't want to just get wicked out by a wick for it to go in your direction. So that would be a trade that I should be in. I'm not. And where do I expect it to go? Well, same thing, same process. Come here. This is 1536. Come to the wick end. 1536. So I would expect it to get at least somewhere up here. It might not be this week. It might be next week. But that's pretty much it. Set that there a little bit below the actual, I guess I got that there. A little bit below. There we go. So that would be a 1 to 6. That's crazy. That's crazy. We'll see how that goes. Now, this is just one trade that of many different opportunities that can present themselves. I have not had a trade since June 25th using this strategy. I've done a few other strategies. If you've been on my channel, I follow Tori Trades. I've done her trendline strategy. I'm still working on that, building up an account there. Here's my Tori Trades pairs that I'm trading that one with. I had a small $50 account there. It's up to 70 something. I don't want to, it's down there somewhere. It's up to 70 something. I trade these ones for other reasons. This is just marking this for my cousin because he was curious about Solana, as he is in Solana. And I have taken this account from 28 bucks and it's probably at 40 something right now, plus this trade that I'm currently in, which is up. I think it's up 19%. So that's another 19% off 40 something dollars. I don't know. Not too bad. The app does it for me. So up to like 50 something bucks on that one. But all that's roughly the same process. It's either 2 candle or just support and resistance, as you can see some support and resistance here. So depending on what I'm trading, tells me which strategy to trade. One thing that I've learned is just about any strategy will work. Just about any strategy will work, but not every strategy works for every trader. And so you really need to come in and find out what works for you. And so that's one thing you got to work on. I think that's pretty much, oh, nope, one more thing. Where's our news? In August, I will be doing this competition, August 1st. August 1st, I am going to do this paper trading. I'll try to figure out, I think there's 4 different instruments that you can trade during this trading thing. I'm probably going to do either the 4-hour or some other time frame that I can get multiple trades in all throughout the day. But I'm just going to use the 2 candle theory. And all I'm going to do is as soon as the candle opens, I'm going to take the position going in the direction as the previous candle. I'm going to use the stop loss at the low of the previous candle or high of the previous candle, depending on if it's buy or sell. I'm not sure if they'll allow us to buy or sell, depending on what it is. But either way, depending on what we're allowed to do, that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do for each and every instrument that they allow us to do. I'm going to figure out what would be an appropriate risk size. And I'm just going to see, this will be a test, to see how successful you would be if you just went solely off the previous candle. And so this will be out there. I will hopefully record every single bit, every entry that I'm able to get into. And and how that looks and the results at the very end. So if you are not, if you do not have a paid plan for a trading view, then I don't think you can actually enter into this. But if you do, I would encourage you to. I would encourage you to get in here and trade like you normally would, but this is with a lot more money. Trade the same strategy that you're currently trading, but with completely different instruments, I would assume, than the ones that you're normally used to. You might learn something about that strategy. You might learn that what you thought only worked for crypto actually works just fine for everything else. Or what you thought only worked on the 1 minute time frame, because of how it's set up, you might have to do the hourly, and you might find out that it actually works just the same. What I'm hoping this will do is, for the month that you're focused on it, doing your particular strategy you want to test out, that's going to open your eyes to see exactly what you need to see in order to start making tweaks to your current strategy to be more profitable. So hopefully you get all that.